Upper body day today. First thing I'm gonna do though is some hang cleans. Gonna do an EMOM, 10 to 12 minutes of it. I rolled my ankle playing basketball last night, so I'm just gonna power all of these. So just hang power cleans. I'm thinking 130 kilos will probably be a pretty good weight to shoot for, but we'll see how these warm-up sets feel. And then I got reverse grip bench press, another EMOM. That's gonna be 12. No, that's gonna be 10 minutes doubles. Yeah, 10 minutes of doubles for reverse grip bench press, and then some pull-ups and some single arm push-ups. So it's actually a pretty chill day. I think I gotta take this mic off. Yeah, I can't wear this mic when I clean. All right, 10 to 12 minutes here on the EMOM. I got 130 kilos on the bar. Yeah, let's get it. I started a new job. I'm not a strength and conditioning coach with UND Athletics anymore. So this is my first week on the job. The new job is a teaching position in the kinesiology department. I'm really excited for it. It's probably going to force me to look at training in a little bit of a different way. My title is just instructor and leader of strength and conditioning. We're trying to get the department's trying to get accredited through the CASCI accreditation through the NSCA. So I'm excited to kind of lead that program and develop it and see where it goes. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to have more access to things like force plates. We have access to a Vicon lab. A lot of different things with technology that I didn't really have access to as much when I was a coach on campus. So I gotta do my next set. Yeah, I'm really excited. So I'll have access to force plates, a Vicon, a Staiku, other lab equipment that I didn't have access to as a coach. So yeah, I'm done coaching athletes on campus. I still do my personal training in my garage here with people, but now that school started, I don't have as many clients because I got a lot of football players, get some hockey players, some basketball players. One of my athletes, he just went to IMG, so his name's Grayson. He's going to be a freshman at IMG, so I'm really excited to see how his basketball career goes. Lost the front rack there. That was shitty. Got a lot of questions from people asking if I'm going to miss athletics. Answer is probably yes. The schedule that I'm going to have teaching is way more family friendly compared to when you're in athletics. I'm not going to have to be on campus at 5 a.m. anymore. I'm not going to have to do weekend shit on campus anymore. So I'm excited for that. Probably a little bit too light for this, but that's all right. I'll just go 12 minutes. It's hard to really like gauge that with a bad ankle and then deciding you want to power everything. I originally was just gonna do cleans from the floor, but with my ankle, I was like, fuck that. Let's hang clean and let's power all of them. So judging how much weight I should do for 10 to 12 minutes was kind of difficult, but this is fine. Just got to move the bar confidently every rep. I think the thing I'm most excited for outside of like the different lifestyle that this job is going to allow me to have is the fact that I'm going to be able to run my classes however I want to run them. There's still a curriculum I have to follow based on like the NSCA standards, but I can run the classes however I want. I don't have someone micromanaging me, telling me what I need to put in certain lectures, what I need to put in certain lesson plans. It's all on me. As long as I just follow the very basic outline of the NSCA, I can do whatever I want. So I'm really excited for that. Nice, that went really well. Let's move on to the reverse grip bench. All right, I got this comment from Sunmin Kim 229 or 299. I appreciate the comment. There's two things I want to address really quick. So this is regarding like all of my takes on Olympic lifts. You say that Will claims as one of the Olympic lift benefits is creating propulsion onto an external body of mass only to have to yield it within milliseconds. You say that unless you're participating in sports where you thrust an object or an opponent forward or upward with your hips, there's really no special benefit to this. Then you go on to say that regular loaded jumps and lifts also create propulsion of the load because the load moves. So my rebuttal to this point is that when you're doing some sort of a loaded jump, it's not the same as an Olympic lift because the load in a loaded jump is essentially an extension of your body mass. You're not actually like moving the load from one position in relation to your body into another position related to your body, in relationship to your body. So that's my rebuttal there. And then as far as like thrusting the weight up with your hips, I think the Olympic lifts are training the general ability to create propulsion onto the external body of mass, not necessarily specific to your hips. General ability to move another mass in this three-dimensional, I don't have a better way of explaining it, but in this three-dimensional way. It doesn't necessarily have to be with your hips, a hip thrust, but yeah, sorry, I'm trying to get through this quick because I want to get onto my training session. And then your last point about the snatch, you say shoulder joints. I say shoulder joints move through long ranges of motion under high load and high speed. You say snatch doesn't really move the shoulder through a long range of motion. You say jerks do. I agree with that. But it's all relative. Also, the shoulder, you say the shoulder doesn't move under high load because they're almost offloaded upon hit contact. That is true. During the first pull, they're loaded. During the second pull, they're loaded. The third pull or the transition phase, they're unloaded, and then they quickly have to get back under that load. I mean, yeah, you're making a distinction there, which is, you're not wrong. I think we're analyzing the movement the same. But yeah, I don't really make a distinction between that very quick unloaded transition phase of the shoulder back to load. I just say it's all under load. But yeah, I mean, you're technically right, but I think there's a point to be made there. You make the point that counter movement jumps with an arm swing moves the shoulder joints at much higher velocity and much longer range of motion. I'd have to look at the range of motion part about that. It might be true, but yeah, again, like there's absolutely no load on the shoulder joint in a body weight counter movement jump, where in the snatch there's a load at the beginning and at the end. Sure, yeah, there's a point of no load on the shoulder joint during that transition phase under the bar when you before you receive it. But yeah, but I appreciate the comment. It's a really good, well thought out comment. And lastly, you kind of make a rebuttal to the point that I always talk about, which is the Olympic lifts allow you to train the lower limbs, the joints of the lower limbs, the knees, the hips, to train the elastic qualities of the muscle at deeper ranges of motion. You say that upon receiving the bar in a clean and then squatting up is too slow to train the elastic qualities. I don't think it is, because you still utilize a bounce. Just like, I mean, people when they high bar squat, sometimes they dive bomb and they try to attempt to use the stretch shortening cycle out of the bottom of the hole. I think the same thing happens when you use the Olympic lifts or when you do a clean. So but yeah, I appreciate the comment, man. It's a really well thought out comment. I appreciated reading it, so I'll give it a like here. How do you maintain your brace for higher rep sets of deadlifts? High reps always end up tweaking something for me. I think you just have to hold your brace for as many reps as you can within reason before you breathe out and re-brace. So like if you can bang out a set of 5, if you're doing like a set of 12 or 15, whatever it is, if you can bang out 5 reps while maintaining your brace and holding your breath, do that. Finish that 5th rep, breathe out, re-breathe in, reset your brace. And then if you just did a set of 5, maybe hold it for 3 reps and then hold it for 3 reps again and then a set of 2, and just keep recycling your breath when you have to, when you're unloaded. So if you're deadlifting, re-brace, recycle your breath when the bar is rested on the floor and you're not under load. If you're squatting, bar on your back, stand all the way up, breathe out, breathe back in, hold that breath, hold that brace, and then hold it as long as you can for as many reps as you can before you need to re-brace. I have kind of an older video. I think the video title is called Get Fat, where I kind of talk about this. Like, breathe in as much air as possible, fill your gut up with air, Get fat and then hold that brace. I think it's a really good cue for a lot of people just to think, breathe in air. And I always tell people, get fat, get fat, get fat. You're gonna hold your brace a lot better than you were previously. My epicondylitis is still like really bothering me, so I can't do the supinated grip. Well, I could, it just hurts, but I'm gonna go pronated grip. I got 3 sets of 5, 35 pounds on. So yeah, 3 sets of 5 here. What is your take on making training recommendations on ISA archetypes? I never make any changes in programming based on the people I work with, based on their ISA archetypes. A good resource on that would be someone like John Evans or Dan Bach, where they work with like high level elite jumpers and dunkers. I don't know if they've actually talked about it before, but they definitely talk about the difference between narrow ISA are gonna be like the 1-foot jumpers, the wide ISA are gonna be the 2-foot jumpers. They do make distinctions within their programming when they're assessing those types of athletes. I would look up those 2 people. They'd probably be a good resource for that question. Are there any performance testing methods that you do agree with and recommend? Yeah, I think all of the jump testing, all of the sprint testing, all of the lifting testing, I think all of that stuff is really good. And I worked with athletes at UND. I sprint tested them, I jump tested them. I tested 1RMs for back squat, bench press, cleans, all that kind of stuff. I think my issue with the testing is when people talk about, and again, I hate to go back to the Olympic lifts, but like people will talk about how they took Olympic lifts out of their program and they still got the same results as when they did use the Olympic lifts in their program. And they're referring to results regarding sprint speed, vertical jump, all that kind of stuff. But like, and I talked about this in my debate with Justin Lima, is like, do you understand there's a distinction between training for the purpose of improving metrics like sprint speed, vertical jump performance? There's a difference between training with that type of framework versus training someone to prepare for the demands of their sport. Improving metrics on these various performance tests, vertical jump, sprint speed, you name it, that's all just gonna be a byproduct of good, hard, quality training. But like, I'm not training someone so they can improve on these tests. I'm training someone so that they can be better prepared for the sport. So that's the approach I take, and that's where I think the Olympic lifts really do come into play there. Whereas if I just said, I want to get someone faster, I want to get someone to jump better, that doesn't necessarily mean they're more prepared or better well equipped to play their sport. You can say someone got faster in a straight line sprint, but yeah, you can make an inference that they're more prepared or they're going to be that they're going to improve their sports performance, but not necessarily. All right, good way to do single arm push-ups. If you can't do a real true single arm push-up, hook up a band to the safety pins here. Find the right height for that band to give you the assistance you need. Find the right width of a band to give you the correct assistance that you need. So best way to do it right here. It must kill the strength coach network guys that Will is more athletic than all of them and disagrees with their views. Yeah, I don't know. They hate watch my stuff. I don't know. They have a group chat, all of those guys. It's called Side Chick, and this has been confirmed by several people. One person confirmed it very reluctantly, but basically they talk a lot of shit about me in there. Yeah, that's been confirmed. I think that's kind of funny. Why don't you do your plyos and jumps on the grass? Better for your joints. It's a good question. I kind of just dedicated that patio out there for plyos or for Olympic lifting or whatever. I put those mats on the patio out there, just my dedicated space. I've done some jumping on the grass, but my yard, you can't see it right now. It's raining outside. That's why I have the door closed. But the yard actually slants a little bit down and then it kind of levels off when it gets closer to the street. So I do have some area of flat grass, but I don't want to jump on a slant. But I posted on Instagram some of my clients doing some plyos on the grass out there. But Yeah, I probably will at some point. I don't know.